Hello everyone, welcome back to Parcel Simulator. Today we are going to look at our warehouse again with a fresh perspective and hopefully make it a little bit more efficient. Last time my shelves were not doing so well. They were getting backed up very quickly, and same for some of my conveyor belts. They were also backing up very quickly, and it was just making it difficult for me to play. So I'm hoping to kind of smooth some of this out today, maybe get some new ideas, look at this again and see what I can do to make it better. If you would, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. It does help me out and I do appreciate the support. Here is our warehouse, all messy and weird looking. There's conveyors everywhere, there's machines everywhere. My biggest problem has been my maritime here and my air over here. As you can see, that stretch between Friday and Wednesday when the air does go out has been a problem. I have pallets stacked up here full of boxes. I'm not quite sure what else I can do to make it better. I started thinking about putting in a few more racks this way or maybe behind them. I'm not entirely sure. Behind them might actually work out pretty well since I seem to have quite a bit of space behind me. Maritime, I added 2 more shelves and another checker machine. Basically, it'll push everything this way, but if it is maritime, it'll go this way as well. I believe when these fill up, then it kind of pushes over to the other 3. That was the impression I was getting when I watched this in action. I really want to open up that 4th bay, but I know opening up that 4th bay is going to be a whole new set of problems that I don't know I'm quite ready for. I almost feel like at that point I need 2 sets of machines. Another problem I face is this second truck bay. This conveyor gets backed up quite quickly and easily. All right, you know what? I am done kind of messing around. I'm gonna buy this warehouse tier 13. There's my 4th truck bay. I'm gonna buy this one too. Oh, wow, there's 5 truck bays. I thought there was only 4. Wow, so I just opened up a whole can of worms. That's okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna set up machines down at this end, just like I have at the other end, that these bays can flood into and then be put in the appropriate areas. Well, first things first, we need to set up the conveyor systems coming off of our 2 new trucks that we have, at least get them going in the correct direction. Okay, update on what I'm doing. I added the conveyors to truck bays 4 and 5. I snake them around. Of course, my brain says, oh, that's more than enough room, but I'm sure the system is going to prove me wrong. I tested this line already to make sure all my conveyors were going in the correct direction. They are, and I'm going to test this one now with this parcel, just to make sure all of these are correct. Yes, lots of snaking, but I want to be able to have enough room for my parcels to kind of be on a standby mode before they go into my machines. I did buy all these machines. I need to set them up yet and kind of figure out that process. That'll be the next big step once this parcel goes through this line, and hopefully I have everything going in the correct direction so I can start on this next project. All right, this isn't going to be as bad as I thought. I think I set up my machines, at least for the valid parcels, pretty well. These 2 truck bays will come together and meet here at the sticker machine. If there is no sticker, it's going to go straight ahead and then through these machines. Once it's considered completely valid, it'll come out here. This will mark it with the appropriate valid sticker. And then I actually have these all set up already from my previous trucks. So if it is rail, it'll go straight and then it follows this conveyor belt into the rail section. Everything else goes this way towards C2. If it's truck, it gets pushed this way, and then air and maritime flow down here. This separates the 2. So this is actually set up fairly well and should work, knock on wood, fairly simply. However, now I need to set up the invalid portions of this as well as the ones that are already stickered as denied. So that should be an interesting build to try to get all of those together, converged into a conveyor belt that will move down and join that far bay. That's the hope and goal. Anyway, we'll see how this works, if it does work. Okay, I think I got my invalids all taken care of for my second set of machines servicing my fourth and fifth bay of the warehouse. They're denied. They actually are going to come down and join this denied line, which goes all the way across the warehouse into the opposite corner denial machine. Otherwise, any marked invalid on this side of the machines will just flow through here, hopefully very nicely, join up with this line and go all the way down to the bay in that corner. There's an invalid sticker machine there, so mark them as invalid, as well as when this comes through here, they will also get marked as invalid. Hopefully that covers the sticker portion of the process. I won't know until I test this to see if everything is flowing relatively smoothly. I still have the problems of the shelving on these bays. I definitely need more shelves for them to pile better or more correctly, I guess. I'm hoping this will work pretty decently. I'm going to make one more change before I attempt anything and see if I can correct this third truck a little bit more with like more weighting on the conveyor, so to speak. So I'm going to give that a go and I'll see what happens with that. Okay, so I redid this line off the third truck, snaked it all the way down that sidewall, all the way up to this sticker machine, where truck 3 preemptively decides where a parcel should go if they're approved, not approved, or needs to be checked. I'm hoping that this extended line will just help with the waiting line I usually have at this truck bay. I don't think it's going to be 100% perfect, but I think it should, at the very least, mitigate some of the waiting on truck 3. That, and then setting up truck 4 and 5 with all the machines down there, all I can do now is just test this giant beast and see if it works. I don't know if you noticed either, but we started the day with $315,000 and I'm down to $134,000. I spent quite a bit on conveyors, machines, upgrading, blah, blah, blah. So I took a little bit of a hit. Before we begin the day, I am going to send out the air parcels because it is air day, and hopefully I'll recoup a little bit of my money. Also down here at my split bay, my air and maritime bay, I'm going to open the floodgates on the air parcels that I have stacked up down here and let them go through. Of course, these maritime ones are paused. They cannot go through, just the air ones can. Now that I've sent everything through for air that I had backed up on both of those shelves, I'm gonna open the floodgates and just see what happens today. I may get kicked in the butt, or it may be perfectly fine. Rarely have things been perfectly fine in this warehouse. We have reached the end of the day. As you can see, we have parcels still moving through everywhere. There is some backup on that third truck still, and the fourth truck and here, but I made a very big error. I forgot to put my line from the approved stickers somewhere. So basically these had nowhere to go. So I've been sitting here trying to stack them up on these pallets just to try to keep things moving at a somewhat decent pace. But I'm gonna have to figure that out because I effed up royally on that one. Now that the last of my parcels have made their way through, I went ahead and I paused both of the conveyors for the air. Now I just got to figure out getting my approved from this machine over to this line, because this line works really well. I proved that in this run I did. I don't have any errors for the day, which is fantastic. I was kind of worried about that, but it was fine. So I think my thought process is just to snake it around. I snake everything, I know. And to get it into this area here so it can go through these set of machines. Okay, in theory, the auto approved from trucks numbers 4 and 5 now will come down into the front of that line. So I just basically moved this conveyor belt all the way around and then into the beginning of this line so it can go through and be sorted properly, because these sorters are working correctly. I am happy with that, and I think next time will be a great place to test this out once again. Thank you so much for watching today's episode on Parcel Simulator, and next time we'll test it. If you would, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It does help me out, and I do appreciate the support you guys have given me. I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.